The God Goals and Money framework is all about positioning yourself, your business to achieve your goals. Really, it's about, I don't really like to use this word, but it's about manifestation, because we're here learning real estate and we're all here. All of y'all have goals about real estate. Actually, what I want you to do, each of you to do, is type your specific goal in the chat. I need you to type what you're after in the chat, every single solitary person. So we all have these goals, and at the end of the day, we're here because we're trying to manifest them. We're trying to bring them from our brain into this physical realm. That's what God Goals and Money is all about. Now, question, y'all might be wondering why it's called God Goals and Money. I shared this before. But I'm going to share it again. So in the scriptures, in the Bible, there are a few topics that are like overwhelmingly mentioned. And the first one is God himself. Obviously, God is in every chapter of this thing. The next one is goals, which is purpose, covenants, desires, I would even say passions. Most people don't properly file passion away in their minds. It's neither bad nor good, but passions. The first person I'm thinking about with passions is David and Bathsheba. If y'all don't know, we'll talk about that later. But we're always after something, right? Where we're after something, God is trying to pull us towards something, right? So the Bible is full of this. And then the other thing is money. Did y'all know that there were 2,350 scriptures about money in the Bible? Oh, goals. This is the most important one. Sorry. The kingdom. Sorry. The kingdom. The kingdom is the most mentioned topic outside of God in the scriptures. There's also one other one. I want y'all to put an asterisk next to this. We're not going to talk about this, but something that the Bible talks about a lot is the poor. It's a lot of scriptures about the poor. You know why? Because when you get rich people tend to start despising the poor. And that ain't cool. You know? But we're not going to talk about the poor. We're going to talk about these three. That's why it's called God Goals and Money. Does that make sense? Let me come over here and look at y'all things. All right. Creating a business that will operate without me on automation. Short-term goal to acquire 10 units, net 500 a door to net minimum 60K annually. Long-term, purchase 20 acres in Sunbelt, subdivided, build family compound on one lot, and single family via tiny homes, second parcel that we will cash flow on. Awesome. I need everybody to post it in the chat. I don't care. I don't care how much of an introvert you are. I don't care if you got fried chicken flour in your hands. Post it in the chat. Okay. Goal, $25,000 net cash flow. I love that. Okay. So one of the things that I look at this God Goals and Money brand is, even within BTS, doesn't matter, is all of this is all about productivity. I'm obsessed with it. I didn't spell that wrong, right, but it's okay. Productivity. Okay. Productivity is all about these three things. Input. Somebody talked about automation. Output. You can do all the things in the world. Some of y'all will know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this. You can do all the things in the world. If you don't know how to call it in, you ever do something and it comes up fruitless? So not only is it work to put the input in, do the work, but it's also a state of mind and a set of things you have to do to get the output. Because you can put in and then get nothing because you don't know how to call it in. And then the last one is all about time. Time is a construct. I'm not going to get into it today, but we are all equipped with tools to be able to speed things up and slow things down as we so need. Okay. And so, with that being said, I'm going to go back and look at the comments in a minute. God, Goals, and Money is a 4-part framework. The first phase, y'all would think, is about God, but it's not. It's about the goals. I don't know who, but I'm going to tell you at least one of you, 1, 2, all of you. The goal's not set right. So even though it's all about God, Goals, and Money, we're not going to start with God because we have to first have context. I'm not going to start preaching to you and talking about God and showing you these scriptures until we can get on the same playing field in terms of having context about me understanding what you want and you understanding how I'm trying to shift what you want, right? So that's phase 1. Phase 2 is God. This is a whole nother conversation. I promise y'all, I'm not going to get super preachy with y'all, but we need to figure out how to align our goals with what God's purpose for us is. I'm going to just say one scripture. Jesus says, I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven so that what you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. What you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Also, the scripture says, Our Father, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is done in heaven. Okay? So you have to align your goals with God. That is what you can bring down. If you ain't aligned, you can't bring it down. Okay? All right. Then phase 3 is about the money. Now we can start talking money. All the stuff that we've been working on in BTS, but there are ways that we can tweak it because this is really where a lot of the productivity comes in. Actually, the whole thing is productivity because remember I told you it's input, output, time. So like this is really all input, but this is like input and output. So this is where systems, somebody talk about automation. Systems comes into play, monetization, having all your branding, all that's here. And then the actual real estate part, right? And then phase 4 is time. This is where we get in the scriptures. And suddenly, the miracles, within the same hour, within that hour, okay? So that's the 4-part framework. So we're going to go over just a little bit in phase 1 today. And I'm going to give you all a lot of homework. Anybody got any questions? Yes or no? Let me know. Anybody need to take a screenshot before I erase this? Let me know. Or I'm just going, thank you.
All good over here.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. All right. All right. Actually, you know what? I do want to talk a little bit more about the 4 phases. It's a couple things I left out. All right, for the goals, here are some of the things that we're going to define in the goals. Redefine, okay? Your purpose. Some of y'all don't know what your purpose is, and that is okay. the vehicle, because you can know your purpose and be in the wrong vehicle. Then the next thing is the assignment. That's when I keep talking about seasons. Here are some of the tools that we're going to use to define some of this. If you're in CEO school, you'll know what I'm talking about. Your vision, you'll know I don't play about, you got to have a vision. Your mission, your goals themselves, then you can start working on your goals. Okay? And then your why.
I have a question.
Yes, I'm listening.
Is purpose and vehicle one?
Nope. Your purpose, I'll tell you mine, and this will help you, this will help it make sense. My purpose has always been, until God says, hey, Nicole, you got a new purpose. And then at that point, he's probably gonna put me in another body. But my purpose has always been, I've been very fortunate to know this, is to help other people get to their purpose. That is my purpose. I have known this for a very long time. If you've been BTS for a long time, y'all know I've done said this for a long time. My vehicle prior, I don't want to say prior still, but the Nicole that y'all know very well, the vehicle that I used to do that was real estate, specifically BTS. Now my vehicle is something different. It's changing, it's shifting. It's BTS, but this. And then I got 2 other big projects that I'm very passionate about working on. But all of them serve the same purpose. If I'm not in that purpose, I'm not good. I don't even want to get out of what God's purpose is for me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
No? Okay. All right.
Nicole, I have a quick question. How is
Yes.
your assignment different than the purpose?
Your assignment is a season. So like, remember I said, I got 1,000 problem project. I want to help solve 1,000 problems. That's my assignment for right now. My assignment for at least the next year is to do the conclave. And so this is why I was saying, I want y'all to start really thinking a little more differently about your goals, because some of you put assignments, some of you put vehicles, because I don't want, so this is what can happen if you misconstrue them. When you either accomplish a goal that you have put your identity into, if you accomplish it, this is what happens when people be famous and they be like, I became a millionaire, a movie star, and I was still miserable because you made your vehicle or your assignment your purpose. Instead of saying, okay, God, I did that. What we got next? Because I know you still got more work for me to do. Some of y'all will, or God might give you an assignment and then you don't achieve that goal and then you get depressed. But that was just the assignment for the season. And he may not have even intended for you to actually achieve that assignment. He might have wanted to position you so you can learn. I'll give you an example. In the scripture, when God tells Abraham, hey, I need you to go kill your son. Go up to that mountain, go kill your son. That was his assignment. Then right before he killed him, he said, no, stop. I actually need you to go, and there's a goat tied up in the thicket on the other side, on the back side of the mountain. Go get that. That's his next assignment. Sometimes we get so married to the assignment or even the vehicle that it can crush us when we don't get it or we do get it. Or what we do is we start idolizing it. And that's a whole nother problem. You don't even realize you become so obsessed with it that you start worshiping it. Does that make sense? I'm only telling y'all what I know. Or y'all don't like what I'm saying right now. Unmute yourselves.
Oh, I'm good. I'm following.
No, I understand that answer. I think for me, the way that you broke out goals with these kind of subsects under it is good because it delineates and even adds more detail to it. And I
Mhm.
think for me, as I'm looking at the whiteboard, I'm just thinking about how mine fit into these roles. So it's a good exercise.
I'm just giving you an overview. We're gonna go into all of this. We're gonna do some exercise and everything. I'm gonna give you some homework. So you know, if you get an aha moment, great. If you don't, that's cool. We gonna get. I got stuff. Okay. All right. So let me go back to phase 2, which is God. Right. All right. So the God section is all about reframing your holistic, interconnected belief system. It'll make sense later. I promise you. But in this section, we talk about this one right here. Blockers and the keys. This probably need to be 2 different sections. Blockers, the keys. Some of y'all, I know I did. Some of you have goals, you got systems in place, you got all this stuff in place. Everything, you're doing everything, but you don't even know you got blockers, that's internal blockers that's directly blocking you in all your hard work. We got to shake these blockers. I am almost crying thinking about just talking about this section. Okay. This one right here, I'm not going to have a whole lot of time to talk about, but probably spend, I don't know how long this one going to take to talk about it. But this one is really kind of like the crux of everything in the framework, because things were revealed to me that I've never heard anybody ever talk about. And so the keys specifically are in the scripture. I already said, Jesus said, I will give you the keys to the kingdom. He told Peter this. He told Peter this right after, just to give you some context, is Matthew 16, I do believe. He told Peter this in that conversation when Jesus asked the disciples, who do people say that I am? And then they was all like, some people say you a charlatan. Some people say you the man. Some people say you Elijah. Some people say you this. And then Peter was like, you the son of God? And then Jesus was like, word. Only way you knew that is from the Father. I fool with you. On this, I will build my church. I'm going to call you rock, and on this, I build my church. Most people think that he's saying, I'm going to build my church on you, Peter, and I'm going to call you a rock, but he's not saying that. What he's saying is on the knowledge that you know that I am the Son of God. I am the Christ. That is what I will build my church on. But that's a whole nother conversation. And then he says, I'm going to give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Then immediately after that, and then he says, I also, by the way, I got to go to the cross. I got to die. And then Peter says, no. And then that's when Jesus says, rebuke you, Satan. He went from saying, I'm going to give you the keys to the kingdom, and they're calling him Satan in the next sentence. In the next sentence. So then fast forward 2 chapters later, Jesus goes through, if you go to Matthew 18, Jesus goes through this whole soliloquy starting from verse 1. And then at the end, he says, middle of the chapter, he says, these are the keys to the kingdom. This is how you align yourself and your spirit to be able to call in and manifest what it is that you are looking to manifest. But we got to make sure that we properly allocate these things and have the right goals before we start calling the right things in. And there's a certain state of mind that you have to be in. I'm not talking about being in a trance. It's all about being free from guilt, how you go into your prayer, how you go into your manifestation, how you go into living your daily life. He literally lays it all the way out. These are the keys. But you can't do this unless you do this. Okay? But it's going to be a minute before we get there. Okay. Then the next thing is the environment. Did y'all know that within the productivity community, or in studies and all that, study after study after study, the thing that most affects your productivity on this physical realm is your environment more than anything else. And so that's why there are a lot of scriptures there are a lot of stories in the scripture where Jesus talks about the field. Jesus says, the kingdom is like a man who found a pearl and hid it in a field, only to go and buy the field to get his pearl. That is your environment, internal and external. If you are working to build your real estate portfolio and your head ain't right, you can know all the things. Some of y'all know all the things, but your head ain't right. You can be doing all of this. And even this, the stuff with the keys that I ain't teach y'all yet. But if you're not in the right environment, the field, it don't matter. Okay, this last one. Water and spirit. Remember when I said you got to actually, so manifestation is not only about being able to see the thing, envision it, you got to actually be able to call it in. And you got to actually be able to maintain it. So there are a number of scripture, y'all can go and look and all the things where Jesus talks about being born of water and spirit. What does that actually mean? Hate to give y'all cliffhangers. We don't have time to get into it today. Or truth and spirit. That's where you become a new person. That's what baptism is all about. But you can be baptized. You can be baptized a limited amount of times. You can be baptized by yourself, and you do not need a bucket of water. It's all about becoming a different person to the person that you need to be able to achieve and maintain the stuff that you're looking to achieve and maintain. All right. The next one, the next phase is money. This one is all about, this is where I'm gonna show y'all my God goals and money productivity technique. Effie, you know a little bit about this, but we're gonna like really, really, really go into this. Effie, you actually know a lot about it. But this is all about, this is where you really get into the input, output, time. And then the last one, the last phase is time. Now that we done did all this work, we got everything we know. What's going to happen in our business, how we going to happen, how we going to call it in, how we going to call it in the spirit and in the mind, and how we going to call it in physical world. When are we going to do this? When are we going to do what? How is it going to work? We need to speed this up. We need to slow it down. Oh, I need more time in my day. Okay, how do I do that? That's compressing and expanding time. Just FYI, I write really sloppy. I can pretend like I write neat up here, but when we get down here, sorry, y'all gonna get my chicken scratch. That's too low. I'm not squatting today. Does anybody have any questions about this?
Yes.
Do you have, oh, I'm gonna answer this question real quick. I don't even know if anybody asked this. Do you have to have all four to get busy? No. You can make progress, but you can make progress based on what you know, and then you just learn and improve along the way. Okay, what's the question?
So what is that following money? Like it's
the God goals and money productivity technique.
Oh, okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody have any other questions? Let me see. Are y'all posting stuff in the chat at all? No. No other questions? Y'all good? Y'all like it? Y'all hate it? I don't even care if y'all hate it. This is like so facts. And like when I tell y'all that the way that this got divinely downloaded to me, y'all wouldn't even believe it. I'm not going to tell the story until after we go through a lot of this and y'all start seeing results. Then I'll tell y'all the story. But right now, I'm not going to tell y'all the story. So I don't even care how y'all feel. I do care, but I don't. Because if you don't, you can slave away 1 unit at a time all you want. I ain't doing it. Argue with them tenants all you want. For $300. I ain't doing it.